Welcome to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Let's Talk Cars Radio is sponsored in part by Napa Car Care Centers, BDG Auto Group, by Liberty Transmissions in Virginia Beach, American Do-It-Yourself Garage, J.F. Whitlow Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Portsmouth, and by Bob Barnum and the Perfect House team. Be a part of the program today by calling 757-222-3705. Text your comments during the show to 757-866-2192. Email your questions and comments to Dave at letstalkcarsradio.com. Now, here's the host of Let's Talk Cars Radio, Dave Palach.
Happy Saturday, America. You're listening to Let's Talk Cars Radio on WKQA Freedom Radio. I'm your host, Big Davey P, hanging out with Cameron Chaos and, of course, Nate VB. It is a great day for a radio show. Hey, it's actually a great day for a Christmas parade. That's right. Don't forget, if you guys haven't heard, come join us out in Virginia Beach. We're going to be out at the Christmas parade. It's been very, very busy. I'm actually back from vacation, guys. You guys happy to see me?
Yeah. How was your vacation?
It was crazy, and I'm bringing back some interesting vacation news. So, I don't even know.
I saw that you were able to find some cars.
I did. So, if you guys didn't see, I posted a picture of the kit car Lamborghini that we did. Somebody actually questioned me on it. I thought, I don't even know why somebody questioned me. We did find that Lamborghini kit car at the base of a volcano. Somebody was like at the base of a volcano, like with like the little emoji, like sure emoji. You know what I mean? Like, no, actually that kit car was at the base of a volcano. So if you look at some of the pictures, you know what? I don't think I actually posted some of the other pictures, but there's a Quonset hut that it's sitting in front of, and then in the background, right behind us, that is a volcano. I don't think it's erupted since, I don't know, like maybe like the 1700s or something like that. But it is a volcano.
Somebody go drop Mentos in it.
But yeah, that's where it sits, and it was cool. I spot it from really far away, and then I was talking to one of the guys that we were riding with. We were on did a private tour and rode ATVs all the way up this volcano. It was really cool. So the cool part about it was we went up so high that the clouds were hanging so low that day that we were actually up in the clouds. So like as you rode, the clouds were down into the mountain.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, it was pretty like picturesque. Is that how you say it? I guess so.
Hunter go with you?
Huh? Yeah. It was really cool. But as we're coming down the mountain, I looked and it's yellow. So I was like, I'm like, what in the world is that? And all of a sudden I'm like, is that a Lamborghini? I was like, nah, it's a Lamborghini kit car, but hey, close enough. I was like, I want to go down there and check that out. And he's like, oh, I know the guy that owns that place. He's like, yeah, I'll get you down there. So we went down there and got cool pictures of it. And I saw that.
You talked to the guy, or he wasn't there?
No, yeah, I saw the guy that owned it. He was like, take it with you. Get it out of my way.
Been sitting here for years.
Yeah, exactly what he said. He's like, I had it sitting here for a while. He goes, I really just want to kind of get it out of my way, take it with you. So I posted it up. Anybody looking for one for sale in the islands, this guy would like to have it out of his way. And he was serious. I saw that, and I saw a World War II tow truck.
That's cool.
That was pretty much had been stripped down quite a bit. I got a picture of that too, and I'll post it up for you guys. But somebody had pretty much raided it, but it was sitting up in the mountains. It was up in, sitting on the side of the volcano
deserted
on a
or
road.
On some property?
Yeah, deserted. Yeah, but it was sitting. It was pretty cool. It had been graffitied a little bit and stuff, but it was pretty cool. So
was it all rusted out, or
no? Believe it or not, I'll have to show you the picture. Of it. Believe it or not, it could be restored.
Condition?
Yeah,
Nice.
It could be restored. I mean, but it's up on a mountain road on the volcano itself. So really, really cool. Cool experience on that island. So here, let me tell you, we were in the Dominican Republic, and you guys, we joke all the time on this show about
A lot of listeners from Dominican Republic.
I do. I do. I get a lot of listeners from there. So we joke about all the things that we've talked about when it comes to texting and driving here, or eating, all the things that people eat. Why?
just the weird, wacky things?
Yeah, the
people
weird,
do
wacky
while
things,
driving?
right? Yeah, absolutely, right? So they got us beat by a long shot, I think. So I'm heading. I don't even know where we were going. We were going somewhere, and we were in a van and we were driving to our location. And a guy pulls alongside us. He's riding 3 deep on a motorcycle. First of all, 3 deep. Yeah.
On a motorcycle?
Yeah, he's on a motorcycle. He's got 3 people on the motorcycle.
Was it a big motorcycle or was it
Nope, it's a regular old. I mean, it's probably like a 1978 like Honda.
more of a scooter?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Oh, it's a motorcycle?
Yeah, it's a motorcycle. It's like a 78, like, probably like Honda. And he's 3 deep on it, number one. So that's already like impressive as it is. I mean, look, you go to Thailand, you'll find them riding 7 on a motorcycle. Yeah. Yeah. If you ever go to, if any of you, I mean, I know some of y'all listening been to Thailand, you'll see 7 people on a motorcycle in Thailand. That's not unheard
That's
of.
kind of crazy.
It is crazy. But they're 3 deep on this motorcycle. And the guy is texting while driving 3 deep.
One hand or two?
One-handed. He's got one on the throttle, his hand like this, and he's texting with one hand with riding 3 deep. I was like, and we're not talking like quick texting. We were alongside of this guy for a while, and he's just steadily one hand throttle looking down and texting as he's alongside of us. I'm like,
Some talent right
I was
there.
about to say, that man got some, he's like, "Hey, risk it all today. Just risk
So-
it all. It'll be fine."
I said something to the driver. I'm like, man, that's pretty impressive. He goes, he's a taxi. I was like, what? He goes, he's a taxi. He's probably setting up his next ride. I'm like, a taxi? They're motorcycle taxis.
I was about to say, I was like, imagine pulling up and they're like, "Oh, hop on the back."
You got the GTA taxi music going on.
So I was completely thinking of that's. I was like, I'm like a taxi. He's
What's
like,
your
yeah, he's a taxi. He's
destination?
probably setting up his next fare. I'm like, that is impressive.
That's kind of
Probably
crazy.
cheap though.
I'm sure it's got to be cheap,
It's
but
just
Are
on
you
a
over
bike.
here thinking about? No, I'm good. I'm not getting on a motorcycle.
I'm just saying, like, you
and
know,
letting
like
my
compared to
life be
like renting
risked.
like, you know, a car taxi or
It's like, it's $1. I got $1.
I mean, could you do it?
do what?
Text the three people
And 3
ride
people
on
ride
a motorcycle?
No,
No, I
definitely not.
No, I
that
barely
takes some
can
pretty
text and
skill to
drive.
balance and stuff. Like, you know, like especially just texting. I mean, was it raining or was it pretty dry over there?
no, it was dry. That day it was dry.
I'm not
Does
gonna
it
try it.
matter?
I can tell you that.
Doesn't matter. He just asked if it was wet or dry. Like, that changes the whole
bit, yeah.
circumference of everything. Like,
Well, you remember when we went and we were riding around the island and it
We
was
were soaked.
pouring down rain.
that's
It did
an
rain while we
understatement.
were riding that day. By the way, it did start, but it was like
It's an understatement. We
no,
were
it
more
was
than
like
soaked.
in between sprinkles. Like we would it would start to sprinkle on us a little bit, and then it would stop, and it would start to sprinkle on us a little bit, and it would stop. But it was a pretty good day for riding. Now, let me tell you, the challenge on this one was we went up the volcano, and some of the climbing was boulder climbing, like straight up boulder climbing. Like we had to go up
Like
the pass.
vertical climbing.
Yeah, like vertical climbing. So you had to like
Gun it.
you had to gun it and get your wheels up and get them set like that. And then once you got set, the path would go up for probably about 50 feet. So you'd have to get the front wheels up and get on it and then get on the throttle and go up about 50 feet on the heavy on the throttle going up the path. And then you get to a landing and then you go and then you have to do it again. So there was a lot of
Hoping that you don't roll backwards.
Dawn and Grandma did great. So if you guys don't know, so my riding partners,
Grandma and
yeah,
Wow.
my riding partners when we go a lot of times, or if these guys aren't with me, are my wife and my mom. And they had no official four-wheeler training until about 4 years ago, when I first put them on a set of four-wheelers and just said, okay, figure it out. So yeah, it's been interesting, and they've gotten good. I will give them their props 100%. They've gotten good. I mean, this was the hardest probably trails I've ever taken them on. I mean, far beyond some of the stuff that we've been on.
Yeah.
And they did really good because you got to go up and then you got to come
Right back down.
back down, and you have to be fully on the brakes all the time coming down because you're going back down.
Right,
those
you
boulders.
sliding the whole time.
Oh yeah, the bike, even on the brakes, when you're fully on the brakes, the bike is sliding back down all the loose boulders and stuff like that. So you're on the brakes, and the bike is just like everything's crumbling underneath you as you're
just
coming
hear
back down. Yeah. You're just sliding, everything's falling underneath the wheels as you're coming back down.
Getting close to those sides, Bill.
And there's drop offs on both
Yeah.
sides. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, imagine grandma.
Right. That's crazy.
So yeah, we had a good time, guys. The adventures were good this time. We always try to put something, some type of motorsports into our vacations. Always, obviously, being a car show. Another thing we did is we went mud buggying.
That's cool.
So
I know that car did not look like it was.
No, it wasn't. So
I saw it. You sent
yeah,
me a photo of
we
it,
went mud buggying was another thing. So we did ATVing up the volcano, and then another adventure we did is we went mud buggying for a day, and we were really muddy. So every time I got anywhere near a deep puddle, I put Dawn's side of the buggy in the puddle, and just floored it.
Let her have it.
Yeah, let her have it. She was covered in mud. So we had like I said, we had a good time. It was good for the head.
Is that the message I sent you? I was like, break out the fire hose. I was like, yeah. I was like, break out the fire hose. Like Dennis Anderson, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, like his place used to do.
Yeah.
I was just talking about him. If you're listening, hey, I still think about
We used to have a blast out of his place.
Yeah,
when we
North
used to
Carolina all the time.
Yeah.
Apparently, I just found out that somebody actually that I know still goes there. I guess when they go to their vacation house, they go there and see some of the races.
And he's only 30 minutes down the road from here. So
I have to go up there one time.
Yeah.
Hey, if any of our sponsors want to send us up there,
we used to go over to Dennis Anderson's place. He's only about 30 minutes up the road from us now, and he used to have you run through the mud pit, and when you you end up running through the mud pit, and it used to be a dash for cash. So where the mud bog trucks used to go through, they'd line you up, and this when the kids were younger, and you had to run through the mud pit and try to get to the cash.
So that's exactly what we were talking about 3 days ago when I was talking about it. Somebody was talking about running through mud pits, and I was like, you don't know how to live. I was like, unless you've ran through a mud pit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you never lived unless you've had a fire hose moment or been hosed down by a fire hose.
At the end, they would hose you off with the fire hose because you had mud all over you and stuff like that. They would, and then they do the adult run for money too, and our buddies would run through it. There was one time that our buddy Mark was the fastest through, but he didn't realize you're supposed to stop at the end and try to grab your money, and he just ran right on through and never picked up any money. It's fun.
I'm a winner.
Yeah, he ran through the mud pit and he threw his hands up like he was the winner, and he's jumping around. He didn't realize he was supposed to.
Forgot what he was supposed to be doing?
Yeah, he forgot he was supposed to stop at the end and try to pick up the money at the end, so he ran right past all the money. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that, I tell you, we got stories forever. But yeah, if you're ever in the Dominican Republic and you see people riding around on motorcycles and they're riding 3 deep and they're texting, it's definitely a huge sight to see. Like I said, Thailand's definitely got them beat because, like I said, they ride 7 deep and stuff. Another thing I saw, so I
had to see it to believe it.
Yeah. I saw a Mazda Miata with a V8 swap with a blower sticking out of the hood. Yeah, I saw that. I tried to catch up to him, but of course, we're in taxis and stuff.
Yeah, so. The V8 and blower sticking out of the hood, so he didn't want to stay up with you.
And when I say a blower sticking out of the hood, I mean he had the old school blower sticking out of the hood of a Mazda Miata. So I heard it coming before I saw it, and then he passed. So I was trying to get he went too fast. I couldn't get a picture. And then I saw a twin turboed 3000 GT, Mitsubishi GT, that was tricked out really, really nice. But I couldn't get a picture of that either while I was there. So there was 2 cars I saw that I really wanted to get pictures of that.
A lot of good moments.
So other than that, not many cars tricked out over there?
No, I didn't see it. I saw a lot of things that were tore up that were tricked out at one time, but the roads are so bad there that the ground effects were like hanging off of them, and the front lip was hanging off because they had souped them up and roads destroyed them. So other than that, it was an interesting trip, guys. Like I said, every time I go on vacation, I try to see what I can see, and that's our stories from the trip. On that note, guys, I got to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I got some more for you, so you guys hold tight, and we'll talk to you soon.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back. Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow and Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow and Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow and Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949, residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow and Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow and Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow and Sons Incorporated.
Hey, Michelle, thanks for coming in.
No problem. What is that?
Oh, Curtis dropped that off earlier this week. He calls it the excitement button. Every time you say Liberty, I'm supposed to push this button.
Liberty?
Yeah.
Liberty?
Oh, yeah.
Liberty?
Liberty Transmissions for the working man.
I don't know about this, Dave.
You gotta admit, it's got a ring to it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
Something really cool happened in 1975. And no, it wasn't the beginning of the disco era. Congress passed the Magnuson-Moss Act, so you don't have to take your vehicle back to your dealer to keep your vehicle manufacturer's warranty in effect. Our Napa Auto Care Center uses the proper replacement parts and procedures to keep that warranty valid. Visit our independently owned Napa Auto Care Center today.
Hey guys, you asked for it and I delivered. Check out our all-star team of automotive specialists at NapaBDGHRVA.com. That's NapaBDGHRVA.com. Talk to you soon.
There's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. Home sweet home. Like every movie, book, and song, every story has a beginning and end. Let your story start today. Call Bob Barnum today at the Perfect House Team with the Real Estate Group.
Bob here from the Perfect House Team. From beginning to end, I'm ready to help you write your story. Call me today at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Welcome back, America. You're listening to Let's Talk Cars Radio. Hey, so, not to say I want to beat a dead horse, but, I mean, let's go ahead and do it while we're at it, right? Not
If
literally.
you say so.
Not literally. He's like, if you say, not literally.
These commercial breaks, we're going to have to put a camera in. We keep saying it. We're going to have to. Subscribe for your behind
Look,
the
before
scenes.
anybody starts sending me some like crazy emails, I'm not talking. It's a term. I'm just saying.
Dave at Let's Talk Cars.
Electric cars. It seems like every time I turn around, there's more and more news. So have you guys heard about Lightyear?
I have not the tire.
Yes, I did. Buzz Lightyear? Or
No, not Buzz Lightyear. Lightyear, the Project Lightyear. It's a car. It's a solar car. So it's been around for a little while. I mean, it's been in and out of like conversation in the news. So they're going to talk about releasing Lightyear. If you guys haven't heard about this, go look it up. I see Nathaniel's kind of pulling it up on his little tappity over there. So Lightyear is a completely solar-powered car. They've been working on it, so they're talking about now releasing it. The only thing about Lightyear, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you guys need to pull it up too and go take a look at it. So it's completely solar-powered. $259,000, I think, is what they want to sell this thing for. What's the range on this thing? You guys know what the range is on it? Anybody have any ideas how far this thing will go? It's like
we're looking, okay?
You guys, but like I said, I mean, it's 100% solar powered. It's going to be, they call it the sun car, I guess, because it's completely, powered by the sunlight.
70 kilometers of range per day from the sun alone.
Oh, well, I don't do kilometers.
That's a charge.
I don't know.
That's power.
But here's the thing. we were talking in commercial break. One of the things about some of these projects, I think, is they start them and it takes so long to bring them forward to us.
186 miles is what you get overnight charge.
Overnight. Okay, well, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. But if you look at the car, I'm not trying to like stomp all over your guys' parade, by the way. I understand. I just feel like the car took too long for development, so the car kind of looks a little old.
You're stomping on our parade.
I'm just saying, like,
So
doesn't the car look a little
has
old?
a full range of 341 miles.
Okay, but doesn't the car look like it's just a tad bit old? Like looking at the car, does it look like it's been in development for just a little while? I mean, it doesn't look really futuristic. You know what I'm saying? Like
Very basic.
it looks like maybe the car was starting to be developed maybe like, I don't know, 10 years ago. Kind of like has like
I don't
a
like,
10-year-old
I don't
feel.
like the
Take
back
a
wheel
Porsche
tire
design
cover.
from it.
It's kind of weird.
You know what that reminds me of? Like, what was that movie that they made like 20 years ago and all the cars look like that in the movie?
You talking about like Blade Runner or
Yeah, no, where everybody was eating at Taco Bell. God.
are you talking about
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of the movie.
not
What
hypocrisy?
are we talking about?
What was the movie? What the movie where Taco Bell owned every restaurant? What was the? Somebody's gonna correct me on this. I know they're gonna send me the name of it.
You talking about Idiocracy or
No,
No, there
not
was a
that
movie
one.
where because the guy walked into the KFC and Taco Bell owned it, and like
No, he walked in. They went to the fine dining restaurant. And
Yeah,
it was
Taco
like
Bell.
welcome to Taco Bell. Like it was the fine dining restaurant. Where the car had like the phone. I cannot remember the name of the movie. I had Sandra Bullock in it too, and it had.
that doesn't give me anything.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that movie.
I don't know
was.
actors like that. I just know
I know movies like
References.
Verizon-
Demolition Man.
That's what it is. Demolition Man. Yep. Demolition Man was the name of the movie. But it kind of has like that feel to it. And that movie's got to be like, what, 20 years old? It just kind of looks like one of those cars. Like I said, I'm not trying to rain on the parade. I think, hey, if its car runs on sunlight, it runs on sunlight. I just feel like maybe they started that project like 10 years ago and the car has a 10-year-old feel.
That's 30 years old.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's 30 years old.
wow.
Came out in 1993.
I'm getting old quick. I'm just saying. It is.
think
it
we're
feel-
gonna have that
I
restaurant
think that's
for
what happens to us, though. I think that happens to us because I think that the projects get started and it takes so long to bring them forward to us that.
And then
that by-
somebody comes out with it and the companies are like, oh my God,
Well,
we need to push it.
No, well, you think you need to recoup the money. That's the problem. You start a project, you need to get it forward to the people.
Well, investors start paying.
that's what we were
to
talking
get that
about
money
for so
back.
long. Like electronics takes so long to get to consumers because like they got to recuperate on all the expenses they did last year, so they hold out, and then you got to wait for production and
All right.
shipping materials
Well,
out.
all that investment money.
Right? Is that you trying to
Yeah,
recuperate that back?
You are. Well, so here's the thing. I mean, you can go. So what is it? Was it this week that they delivered the Tesla trucks?
Yep.
So Tesla delivered their trucks, their semi trucks to PepsiCo and Frito-Lay, which are the same companies.
So let me
guys
ask you a
know.
question, right? Do you feel like businesses would do better if they did limited batches instead of doing thousands of batches, right, of the same product and then waiting so long to come out with something new? You think they do better if they did limited batches and then came out with something
Of what? Give me like of what? Of
like just
what?
say instead of like from a car's perspective, right? Instead of making like a couple thousand cars or 100,
You're like a 500 batch.
instead of like 100,000 cars batch of that same car, you do like say 10,000, and after that, or maybe a little more obviously because.
I think you can make more money.
That's
that
what
way.
I'm thinking, like, because then you're not stuck with so much production and you're not trying to recuperate so much of that loss.
I think you could make more money if you did limited batches, and then they could make them like this limited model, that limited model.
Oh my God.
I can
You
see
guys are
that.
going to do it like upgrade your iPhone, but in cars. Upgrade your car every year.
No, it's not like one of that. Just limited batches. So like, and
Well,
here's how I would do it.
It can be kind of like that because cars don't really change over the year. That's
Get
like
your
another problem. It's like nobody really wants to
refurbished
like get a new car because it's like, well, from 2016 to say 2020, the car really hasn't changed much until you get to a newer car like 5 years out.
That's the reason why I still think the Lego car is a good idea. And I'm not talking about the Lego car.
Yeah,
but
you're
you know
talking
what I mean.
about part by part.
Part by part where it pops off and you can pop other parts on and then you can change the car. That idea was still the best idea ever. And if you guys never caught that segment, and maybe you did,
You still got one sitting in the attic.
no, that's not
I
what I'm
know what you're
talking about.
You're talking about a real
This guy's
Lego car.
never going to
You're
let
talking
that
about
live
the
down.
ultimate kit car.
I'm talking about it is a kit car, but it's not. He calls it
Yeah,
a kit
it's an
car, but it
ultimate
is.
kit car.
It's a car you buy from they came up. What was it? It's got to be 5 years ago since they talked about that idea. But we've
talked
talked about it many times on this show. It is the ultimate idea. The manufacturers had this idea where you could pop fenders off and pop fenders back on and quarter panels and all that kind of stuff. And every 2 years you could redesign your own car, but it is the same car.
I would say that would be a pretty good benefit for like
benefit.
Yeah,
benefit. Say that 5 times
I know,
fast.
right? Benefit for like the consumer wise, just because like I said, cars don't change for like 5 years. You get a new model, the same body.
You want a new car,
right? Exactly, and the body only changes very slim, every year that comes out. So if you had customization body styles, I see people investing in that.
If you could, I'm telling you, we get tied up in this conversation all the time, but I am telling you, there's no doubt, and the cell phone proves it. Cell phones prove
accessories.
It's
all about it's accessory game.
It is. It proves it. If you could buy a car, email me, text me, call me. I don't care what you guys do. Tell me your opinion is 100%. In fact, Cameron,
you could just do it really.
Set something up because I'm telling you.
You could do like magnets, like magnetized fenders.
But the way they did it, set something up because I want to know what everybody's opinion is on this. We need to do some type of like big poll on this. I don't know how we're going to do it. We'll figure out how to do this.
We'll do a poll.
But if you could buy a car, okay, let's just say this is. Let's put it's a 7-year car. Let's say a 7-year car. Okay. 7-year car, since that's like tends to be like the drawn out big loan everybody's doing nowadays. But every 2 years, you could go and pop new body panels on fenders, front fascia, rear quarters, and all that kind of stuff. And the car looks completely different every 2 years, but it is still the same drive. It's just the body. You're just popping body panels off.
It's the same feel.
Right.
It's the same.
Right. You can just pop it on. The car looks completely different, looks new, shiny, with a completely different look to the car every 2 years. And let's just say that cost you $2,000. $2,000 to pop those body. It just came in the body.
I mean, you can even go a step further and do that for the interior wise. I mean,
no. I don't want to do that. We talked about that before. You and I came to an agreement last time. We had this big, huge argument. Everything on the inside, just... You could, but we're not going to touch that. We're just the outside look of the car looks completely different. And that kit costs you like, it just gets sent to your house. It's $2,000. Everything just pops on. You pop off and pop on. And you could do that every 2 years. Would people buy that? And I say 100% they would buy that car because it would. And I'm not talking about
this. And I feel like it wouldn't really affect sales overall. If anything, you make more money because at the end of the day, if people want a new car, they're going to get a new car.
They are, but I think that people would 100% buy that car for just that option because it has that option. Because at the rate that we buy cell phones to be the guy with the new cell phone all the time, people would buy that car. No doubt in my mind, people would buy that car.
Especially if you made it.
And I'm not talking cheesy.
Right. It's not, especially if you made it where third parties could make kits that perfectly fit to the body style.
No, I agree with you. I'm going to tell you this, it would be a hot seller. And there was the manufacturers were looking at the possibility because with 3D printing
makes it a lot easier
and cheap,
way much easier.
And cheap.
You could almost do it at home if you had the right equipment.
That was the thing. If you had the equipment, you could almost do it at home. And that's the reason why they were looking at it. And the reason why they were talking about this was because you could do 3D printers at the dealership and they could 3D print fenders when cars got in accidents. And it would be, instead of having to wait for things, literally you could take your car into a body shop, you could 3D print a fender, and you could pop it on. It was already color matched, everything, and send it right out the door without having to worry about doing paint or anything like that kind of stuff. And that's what they were talking about with that option. And I was like, that's genius. Absolutely genius. And with some of the proprietary things that Tesla has and stuff like that, which I get it for Tesla, this would solve some of the issues as we start to move towards electric vehicles, solar powered vehicles, all that kind of stuff. You could add some of these features into some of these moving towards that technology. And that's the reason how this all comes. You guys want to
it just makes it, it's more of a selling point. It's more of a selling point for people to get on board with the electric train.
It is. It's
not just
electric.
It's not just electric. Exactly. You could just say it's not just electric. Right. You have so much more.
I have this and I have that.
Right.
Look, all these different cool things are coming. So if you have electric car or solar car and stuff like that. Now you have also this. Like, look, man, I can change the way my car looks every 2 years.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised that more people haven't included solar charging in these electric cars.
It's coming. regenerating is the big thing right this second.
Well,
I read a whole
that's
article
another thing.
on
Is
that.
like you would
I
think
can
they
see
would like
the
we. I know we
wind being a
touched on it
solar
a bunch
panel.
of times, but you would think we'd be a lot further in the regenerative process
Did
of
you
electricity.
see the shocks?
Nah,
I
they're
gotta
gonna do the absorption.
I got to take a commercial break. I'll touch on it just a little bit because I got some other things I want to get into, but I'll take a commercial break and I'll talk to you guys about regenerating shocks that I just read a huge article on. It's actually pretty interesting if you guys have not seen it yet, but hold tight. Let me take a commercial break. We'll come back and I'll tell you guys about it, and I'll talk to you soon.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back. Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow and Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow and Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow and Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949, residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow and Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow and Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow and Sons Incorporated.
Okay, guys, it's time to change up Liberty's commercial. Curtis couldn't make it, so Michelle Price is coming in, and she said absolutely no messing around this time. Hey, Michelle, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Hi, I'm Michelle Price from Liberty Transmission. Now, I could sit here and tell you a bunch of stuff you really don't care to hear about transmissions, but I'm not. However, if you want a great transmission at a fair price, and you want it from a family shop where a handshake still means everything, come see us at Liberty Transmission. My husband's name is on every one. How was that?
Well, I think that pretty much says it all, but just one last thing. Woo! Sorry, Michelle. Curtis made me do it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
There's something special about Napa Auto Care Centers. They're backed by the national strength of Napa. Nationwide warranties honored by thousands of locations. You know, that's Napa know-how. But more importantly, your Napa Auto Care Center is independently owned and operated by neighborhood professionals who operate by a written code of ethics. Put your vehicle in the hands of ASE certified technicians who will greet you with a smile you can trust. Visit us today.
You heard me say it, and now here's your chance. Now's the time to go find your auto garage. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to NapaBDGHRVA.com and find your all-star car care center today. That's NapaBDGHRVA.com. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, Dave from Let's Talk Cars Radio. So for the last 2 years, if you listen to the show, you've heard me talk about my dream house. It has been a great experience buying land, building my house, even selling my old house. One thing I didn't tell you about was the real estate agent that I used. I used Bob Bardem from the Perfect House team in the real estate group. It's been one of the best experiences I've ever had. Bob has been there for us from beginning to end and treated us just like family. I'm telling you, you've heard me talk about this because it has been one of the truly best experiences that I've had. If I did not choose Bob, I don't think that I would have all the best things to say about building this house. So, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, definitely give Bob a call at the Perfect House team in the real estate group. You can contact Bob at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003. And I'll talk to you soon.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're listening to Let's Talk Cars Radio. So, before I went on commercial break, I was telling you guys about regenerative systems. So the one that I was reading an article on was actually pretty cool. And they actually have a regenerative system that's hooked to shocks now. So I was reading this thing, and it's basically, easiest way to explain it is like basically put like an alternator on your shocks, and as every time the shocks go up and down, it turns the alternator, which then generates power, which is then stored. It's a pretty neat system. I mean,
So we started digging into it because we were wondering, like, what could we do with like the tires, and how many revolutions does it take?
I didn't believe that. By the way, I didn't believe that was that little. I thought it would have been more.
So Nate was like, why don't we just create a system, every time a tire rotates, it does something.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
well, don't leave me hanging. The number.
Yeah, all right.
The
So
number.
it's
like
1,069 revolutions a mile. So your tire turns 1,069
I would have thought it would have been more. I
times
would have thought it'd been like
every mile.
thousands and thousands. Apparently, it's
For
not.
some reason, if you're going 60 miles per hour, though, it increases that a little bit to 1,250
like
revolutions.
I just don't understand
But
how
at the
nobody's thought about it, because
Look-
there's already tension in the transmission.
At the
right?
same
so
time,
you already
though-
have tension as the differential is turning. So we could easily use that tension.
You guys
mean
remember
torque?
when the power went out?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Are you talking about like just the pressure?
just the pressure. Yeah,
Okay, right,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's not loose.
friction,
Yeah, the
whatever.
friction.
Remember
It's
when
not
the power
loose.
went out and we have like hurricane seasons and we're sitting there with like a wind-up radio? You guys probably don't know
that-
about
Right,
that.
it's
but-
literally the same
Wind-up
concept.
Hey, it
radio.
worked.
It worked.
Don't talk about my wind-up
We
radio.
would
It
sit
works.
there and you get like the rotations just going just right. You didn't even have to hold the radio anymore. You could just go and it'd still play.
it worked.
Yeah.
Literally, like, it's,
Why can't you do that with a tire?
I'm telling you,
You do that with a
we could be
tire,
millionaires.
you push
okay,
so much power. Your arm would never be tired with 1,069.
I never thought about that.
So who wants to invest?
So what he's talking about is I don't know. I got a little prepper in me, I guess is the best way to put it. I always had like every solution for hurricane seasons.
Wind up
and
light.
wind up lights. Well, I had the radio. It has the coil in it. You wind it up, and then the radio works. I guess something like that may work. I don't know.
I know like the force and like, Newton's laws, like, because if there's Newton's second law, if there's a force pushed on an object in motion,
No,
it'll
don't ask
slow
me.
it down or something like that. But
Things in motion
an
stay in
object
motion.
In
Things
motion always
can't be
stays in
created nor
motion.
destroyed.
But if you put if you're going up a hill, that's force being put on it. So you'd have to use more power, but you'd gain so much power just going down a flat road or going downhill.
Well, you gotta think though. There's not a lot of downhills. There's a lot of uphills.
All I'm saying is that there's obviously a lot of ways to generate power. I mean, you would think
We're coming up with new ways.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to make it all happen. I like the fact that technology continues to push out and push forward, and I keep on seeing people come up with new ideas. And every time I turn around, there's somebody sending me an article on something with some new technology, and I think it's great.
So would you prefer, if they came out with a third party, would you guys buy the third party for your EV, or would you rather it be a manufactured product?
Oh, I'm all
Manufactured
about
product.
I'm all about third party stuff. I still joke about the fact that you have the third party self-driving car thing that we talked about,
Right,
where the guy's
right.
like, I can make any car
Self-driving.
and there's companies that are working on that. They're talking about putting self-driving in any car at some point in time.
But I feel like self-driving is going to take a very long time to be in every car. Because if you think about it, like, we still don't have auto start in every car. And auto start's been out for a while.
2035 probably is
so?
where it's right. I think you'll see it on a regular basis. That's what I think. 2035. 2035 I think will be the regular.
I think a lot of our technology though is still behind like the times and everything. Like, all right, I'm gonna take us really.
Is it behind the
really
times,
off
or are we
course.
just not willing to accept
Blinkers?
the time yet?
Why? Let's say
You are so
I know
hooked
I'm
on
still
this.
stuck on the
He
blinkers.
is so
thing.
hooked on blinkers.
But let's say like how we put our we now have Apple Maps, and when we plug in our phone, our maps go on our screen.
Yeah, I got it.
Why can't like the blinkers automatically activate? Because it knows we're about to take a left.
You've already
The map
asked this
is-
question a million
Oh,
times,
did I?
and Nathaniel kind of answered it. He's like,
What happens if you miss your light, or you want to go a different
argument
direction?
about it. Remember, we argued kind of. He's like, well, just because that's the way you normally drive, is the blinker supposed to anticipate that that's the way you're going today?
Right.
How does
It
how does it know that you're not going to go
would
to the
prepare
grocery
for
store
it.
today?
Right. Yeah, I just said
prepare
that.
for
How
it.
you know you're not going to the grocery store today?
You can make it like basically activate after a certain degree of the tires being pitched that way. So if it knows you're supposed to take a left turn, and then your tires start to turn left.
I got that.
I'll debate this just like Nathaniel debated it with me.
But
how does it know you're not trying to miss that squirrel? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's going to put a blinker on for you.
Or like, what happens if you?
All right, back to our normal.
Oh no! You're not getting out of this one. Look, I'll be the first one to admit that I think a lot of the stuff that we have in cars today is outdated. And I think a lot of stuff needs to be upgraded.
What, a lot of cars still got cigarette holders and the cigarette lighters?
Not so much cigarette lighters anymore, but like
change holders. Who uses change anymore?
Change. I do think so. I think that all cars, the windshield wipers should be automatic. Instantly, as soon as it detects there's rain, I think the windshield wipers should automatically come on. I don't think I should have to flick them on. I think the car should know to turn them on.
You know, I think it's kind of funny though, is that you know how in older cars the change holder is actually organized. And as we get in the modern days, the change
it's just
a square to throw in.
Right.
So, because like in my BMW and stuff, it's sorted.
It is sorted
and stuff, and you put it in slots. Now it's
lazy.
just we got so lazy. We just throw it in.
I'm gonna laugh about that because
that wasn't supposed to be a change holder. I'm gonna let you know now.
Back in the day, and a lot of people that will remember. It was so sorted that it gave you like 8 places for quarters.
I remember
it gave you
for dimes,
it gave
pennies,
you place for dimes and nickels, all sorted out like so you had them. And the reason why
Dad used to have that stocked too. We used to go.
See, mine was a little wheel.
I had it stocked. Y'all were robbing it.
Yeah,
but I did have it stocked. But no, seriously. So I think like I said, so windshield wipers I think should automatically come on. I think.
Dude, you want to hear before you say that, right? I had a great idea too, right? Here's another idea.
Man.
Hold on, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was telling Cameron late at night one day, right?
Right.
That's another invention. Yeah, it was.
He was like, "Where are
What's
you?"
Up?
Was I awake?
No, you were. What's up? I had this invention. I said, I was thinking of like, outdated things, right? And I was like, well, we've had windshield wipers for a very long time. So how come, especially because we're going to this new... I'm building up to it.
I'm building up to it.
Because now that we're in this EV market-wise, right? And we're trying to come up with new technology-wise and stuff. I'm waiting or seeing if someone is going to come up with a heated window, per se, where like we get rid of the windshield wipers, and as when rain hits the window, it just evaporates.
So here... Hold on, and I agree with you. So here's the thing.
Because I feel like that's a game changer.
Do you think that we wasted the term smart car too early?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so I do.
Because it was nothing really smart about
that car.
It's just a regular car, and it was just a very small box.
It was a small little tiny car.
And I think that's why we came out with the word autonomous.
It should have been eco car.
Right. So I think we...
That was before economy cars came in.
I think we completely wasted the name smart car
on
something that was nothing smart about it. Like we could be using the term smart car now on cars that actually do cool, that are really smart and do cool things.
You say smart car,
and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm seriously like, I know it's funny because it is funny, but we wasted that term.
Yeah, because when people say smart car, you're not thinking of autonomous car. You're thinking of the smart car.
Well, remember we used to use smartphone,
right?
And it was smart.
It's not no smartphone no more.
Right, but we use that term smart
iPhone.
Yeah, right. But when it first came out, we said smartphone.
Yeah, smartphone.
Because it was smart and it had a whole bunch of things to it. I think we wasted the term smart car.
Well, to be honest, then we realized it wasn't that smart. It just was good at doing tasks.
Okay, but it worked. But it fit. It fit.
It did.
I mean, what was smart about the smart car? Can anybody tell me what was smart about it?
That you can reach out over to the passenger mirror.
The publicity,
like what you're saying, like
smart publicity.
And I, okay, so I agree with you to a certain degree that like windshield wipers could be changed. Like, by the way, I got mine. Bosch here. Icon.
Hey man, will those fit my car?
No, those are mine.
No, I need some.
Just so you know, Bosch has hooked me up with some nice Icon blades. Just so you know,
Bosch, Christmas is coming.
Bosch, Christmas is coming. Just so you all know, I like my Bosch Icons.
I have a 2006 Acura TL.
Get them today. I told you that's the only thing I put on my truck. You guys think I'm lying? That's the only thing I put on my truck.
If you need my address,
here's the thing: do I think that you could put like some type of blower and heater system or something into a windshield to help?
I don't think a blower. You need
a blower?
No, you need to make it where literally when it hits the windshield, it evaporates. Because you gotta think.
I don't think there's any way you could. You ever been in like a huge? You've been in bad downpours with me.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way you could clear that quick.
That's what I'm saying. It has to. No,
my look at it is if you're upgrading the windshield wipers, you're getting rid of the whole.
You're never getting rid of the wipers.
No,
get rid of the wipers.
That's what I'm saying. You can get rid of the wipers, but it has to do exactly what I'm saying it has to. It literally, as it hits the windshield, it has to disappear. Because at that point, then it's the same thing as the wipers. Because the wipers don't get rid of the water. It just
Are we
moves
going
it
to
out
have
of
to
the
put
way.
a burn warning
So
sticker
you still
on the
have
windshield?
like problems.
Are we going to have to
I
put
don't
a
think
burn
there's any way
warning?
you could do that.
If you can, if you can make it where the rain when it hits, because the problem.
In an
Look.
extreme downpour, I don't think you can
But
move it that
That's
quickly.
what I
There's too much
told
water
you.
volume.
That's what
I'm gonna tell you.
told
I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because a windshield wiper doesn't control the amount of rain coming down. All it does
Right.
is move it
Move it away-
off
move- right,
off
correct.
the windshield
I
wiper.
agree. I
Right.
agree.
So as long as
Which my icons do.
icon
Great
exactly.
job.
So as long as you make
No, I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I just love their
Bosch,
blades.
Christmas is
so as
coming
long as
up.
you make it where there's no rain sitting on the windshield, you should be okay because we see through the rain as it comes down anyways. It's just when it hits the windshield it becomes a problem.
I agree. All right.
Get your wipers today at Bosch.
Bosch. Hey, I got to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this. But hey, the sponsors got to have a say so why we sit and discuss it beyond our control. So hold tight, and I'll talk to you soon.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back. Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow & Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949, residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow & Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated.
Hey, Michelle. Thanks for coming in.
No problem. What is that?
Oh, Curtis dropped that off earlier this week. He calls it the excitement button. Every time you say Liberty, I'm supposed to push this button.
Liberty?
Yeah.
Liberty?
Oh, yeah.
Liberty?
Liberty Transmissions for the working man.
I don't know about this, Dave.
You gotta admit, it's got a ring to it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, here's a pound of prevention from your Napa Auto Care Center. We'll customize a preventive maintenance package for your vehicle that will save you time, money, and hassles now and down the road. We'll ask, do you drive mainly in the city or on the highway? Plan to keep your vehicle? How long? And more. Preventive maintenance is a good thing that prevents bad things. Build yours at your Napa Auto Care Center today.
Hey guys, Dave Pilach from Let's Talk Cars Radio. Do you currently have a repair shop you trust? Haven't found the time to go to a garage for all your automotive needs? Check out the all-star team at Napa BDGHRVA.com. That's Napa BDGHRVA.com. Let them show you what it's like to work with the professionals and make a friend along the way. Talk to you soon.
So you're ready to make a move, whether buying or selling a home. You find you have more questions than answers. You're wondering if you're even asking the right questions, or where do you go from here? Stop, take a deep breath, even count to 3. Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. Every house has a story. Let yours begin now by calling me, Bob Barnum, with the Perfect House team at the Real Estate Group. Call me today at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back. So, if you were following us last segment, I'm still trying to figure out how to dissipate that much water without windshield wipers?
As Nathaniel said, you just turn on the heaters even more.
No, it can't be a heater thing. It has to be some type of element that, like I said, like sulfur or like baking soda. That it's almost like you need a mix of Rain-X.
You know the word element usually goes with heat. Heating element.
No. Because heating element is like you don't want to, because the windows can be hot, right? So like it crash wise, it's gonna be too many parts. Like you need to make it where when water gets in contact with something, it disappears.
I think heat would have to be involved. There's has to be some type of heat. I think you actually would have to have some type of blowing element too. Like,
What happens
I
if
think there
a
had to be
rain-
some
No,
type of a little bit.
you guys are thinking too much because like
What happens
you
if
think about
Rain-X
sulfur, like salt and all that takes like soaks up rain and stuff. If you get like a non-slick pan and stuff, rain slides right off it. All you
That's
gotta
what I
do
was
is
just
get it into the
thinking.
channel.
Like, what happens if Rain-X came out with like a clear grease that was only activated if it had heat applied to it? So when the rain touched it, it just kind of, instead of staying on the window, it slid down.
Here's the thing, though. But you're
naturally.
talking about this is something that would have to stay on the window all the time.
That's why I said the window would have to be made of it. You can't put
Yeah,
it
the
can't be
window
it
would
can't
have to
be
be
something
made
you
of it.
apply. It has to be
I got you. I think we're overthinking it a little bit, but
Like more of a plexiglass than
no.
an
I'm
actual
thinking like
glass anymore.
salt, like a salt made window.
I don't know.
Salt dissipates in the. You're just driving
Well,
down
obviously,
the
You're
road
gonna
in
drive
the
me
window.
crazy with trying to think about it. 'Cause
Right.
now, like my head's gonna try to wrap around it.
I know
and
it has to be out there. Someone's
There's
working on it.
something. There's definitely something out there.
I'm going to tell you it's impossible.
I'm just thinking. Think about marketing a window with no windshield
Kennedy's
wipers.
going to tell us we can make
No,
it.
I don't want to do that because I like my windshield wipers.
No, you don't.
I do like my windshield wipers. I do.
You like them because you have to. But if I told you you didn't, you'd be like,
Well, I guess that's true.
Again.
If anything, like anything
Boss,
that's
if
to do
you're
with,
listening, this is where your sponsor ad goes, okay?
This is where your sponsor ad goes. All right, so I'm gonna jump completely into something on a whole nother side of things. So we tested, and Cameron, remember when it first came out,
What is it?
we did the whole DoorDash.
Dude, we had Slurpees delivered
We had
to
the
us.
Slurpees delivered to the studio, and we thought it was the coolest thing.
It was awesome, except my delivery last night, you know. Look, that driver looked in my bag, was like,
You can't say that.
do I want...
Allegedly.
Look, all right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But as I told the DoorDash driver, which I'll tell myself a little bit, I don't know if you can see my orders or not, but you can tell that I order Subway at least 2 times a week, you know? She's like...
That's a lot.
She's like, 1 second. She goes, oh, yeah. And I'm like, you can tell when a sub's been wrapped by Subway or unwrapped by not
It
Subway.
doesn't matter. So I'm not saying DoorDash. It could be any of them. There's tons of delivery services that are out there.
By the
right?
way,
So-
Subway, this is where your ad goes.
So there's tons of services out there, and doing a little bit of a review and talking with different people who order and the drivers on both sides and stuff like that. Do you guys think that
There's a disconnect.
yes, that there's a
Yes.
exactly there's a disconnect and some of it's run its course? Do you think some of the services definitely?
Yes, I think some
it's run
people are
its
now
course?
just used to signing on the app, going available to start making deliveries. Nobody's really checking in with the drivers like they used to.
People
But
definitely
it's
aren't
also-
checking in with the people using their
Yeah,
service. That's
and
for
it's
sure.
not.
I'd
I was
say
about to say
it's-
it's not just the drivers anymore because DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats. I know people remember they used to call you after your food and go, "How was your food?"
That's not happening
and
anymore.
It's never
Okay,
happened.
so-
I'd say it's shifted from a business aspect
into
to
a
more,
monopoly.
No, not a monopoly.
No,
to
no.
more of a app, to an app. Basically.
here's the thing.
It's just
They
the,
realize there's a service out there.
It's the ease
and
of the
they
service.
got it at the perfect time that they're now the only service that really it's now fighting the deals on the
No,
app.
I
It's
wa-
not
Okay,
really
so hold on,
fighting
hold on.
getting the food
So
delivered.
let me back off because you were.
I think
I can't talk to you about it because you get too heated about
You're
it.
too
So I
emotional.
got-
You get
you-
emotional,
You,
yeah.
you are the disgruntled customer.
I am.
I know, so I can't talk to you about it. So I had to I had to mute you for a second. 'cause
mic's
you're-
off.
Yeah. All right. So let me mute you. Let me talk to somebody who's a little bit more level headed for a second. Love you, but you are my
Yeah.
disgruntled customer.
I
Just
feel like
remember,
I feel
still
like
have the button to turn it
I
back
know.
on.
Yeah, I know. But you're disgruntled. So
I feel like
hold
it's
on.
gotten to the point where, you know, like I said, it's not a business aspect anymore. It's more that they
It's over there
realize
chomping at the bit.
they realize that they can easily, you know, take their hands off of it and it'll work no matter what.
So there's a reason why I asked this question. So I asked this question because I end up talking with some managers who run restaurants, right?
Right.
Who are using the service. And the reason why I asked, because I go into these places and there's bags stacked. They're just stacked up everywhere. And I'm nosy. No, hold on, Cameron. Cameron just can't help control himself.
No,
hold on.
Let
Let me get out what I need to.
Okay.
So, and and I'm talking bags that are stacked. And I am nosy to a certain degree. So I kind of like, as I'm standing there waiting for my food, I looked, and the times that are on these tickets are old. They've been sitting for a while. And I went, my goodness. And I go to this place quite a bit. And I'm like, this stuff's been sitting around for a while. And she said, they henpeck their orders. And it's, all right,
So-
go ahead, Cameron.
Somebody came out with an app, and it was a delivery driver that got mad about the tips. So he actually designed an app that goes through the source codes of every app and knows how much you are tipping that customer.
Is that true? Is that what it is? Okay.
So when they get a delivery order through their 3 different
And
apps
everybody,
that
and
they're
you know
using,
everybody's using it. Are you
Everybody's
sure?
using
Because
it.
be careful. I mean,
most
you know,
people, most people are using
okay,
it. I
all right.
know because
Say everybody's using it, but
well,
I mean,
not everybody.
This is what you
most
believe,
people.
right? Okay.
Now, and I know certain people that do use it because I have friends that use
Okay.
delivery drivers. So I asked them about it, and they said yes. When an order comes in, they have to wait a couple seconds, basically where the app's trying to find multiple people, and it sends a notification to their phone, and they can hit it, and it tells them, this is what we think you're about to get plus the tip.
Okay, all right. Well, here's
so
the thing.
On a McDonald's order, they think they're going to only make $3, and it's a 17-mile drive. They're
All
like,
right, well, I didn't
no.
think they sent you out that far. They sent you on 17-mile drives. So I didn't think they
Sometimes,
sent-
yeah, sometimes. Like, think about you live out here in the country. Somebody got to deliver the food
Okay, well,
out to you.
I'll tell you guys. So, as you
I will
guys
say,
know,
I will say that they can pick and choose what they pick up, and sometimes
Okay.
it's better in their and their time to pick up a shorter route that makes the same amount of money than it would for a longer route.
Now, here's the thing. As they've stated, I do live out, as you guys know, I live out in the country, and I'm not close to anything. Now, I have kind of an unwritten agreement with my delivery drivers. And what I mean unwritten agreement is when I finally found delivery drivers that would deliver to me, I tip well. And when I mean I tip well, I don't mean I think I tip well. I mean I tip well. And I do that because I realize that for them to come out to me is a ride into the country. Now, a ride into the country is if you're on our country roads and you're not hitting traffic, obviously, because if you get on the gas and you just drive, you can get to my house within 10 to probably 15 minutes from wherever your delivery, whatever I order, whether I'm ordering Chinese food or if I'm ordering pizza. So it's so that's 10 to 15 minutes to me. Now, if you have picked up other stuff to drop off on your way to me, you probably could make a good little haul of money because a lot of times I've talked to some of the drivers, they usually grab like 4 orders. So they'll hit 3 and then I'm their last one before they reroute themselves back to go pick up. So a lot of times I'll give like a $20 tip for bringing stuff out to me.
Right.
Because I realize that they've had to come out to me to deliver. And that,
You ever tipped and got your food cold?
you know what? I have not. Most of the time, the 2 places that I use realize that it's me as soon as they see the address, and they book it out to me because they realize that. And here's the thing: a lot of times I pre-tip too. So I pre-tip,
So they already have a.
so they already know
rush.
that. Right. And they take care of me. So the pizza place I use takes care of me, and the Chinese food place. Now I could never get the Chinese food place to deliver out to me until I went and talked with the owner. Because I'd call and he'd be like, it's too far. So then I went and talked with the owner, like, look, if you bring it out to me,
I'll make it worth your while.
I'll make it worth the while for the driver. And then we became to an agreement. He said, look, if I'm really busy, there's just no way I can make the driver come out there. It's
Understandable.
And I said, that's understandable. He said, but if we're not terribly busy, I'll come out to you. And I said, fine. So I call and first thing I ask, are you guys real busy today? He's like, I'm slammed. I'm like, not a problem. I'll find something else. Or I'll come get it. And I will drive to him and go get it. And then I'll call you and say, I can make it work. And then I make sure I take care of the driver. And I just think that's the responsible thing to do. I'm not a jerk by any means. You guys listen to the show long enough to know that I'm pretty easy to get along with. and I make it work. It just seems to be the way to do it.
So I just found it.
Cameron went and searched the app and found the
I
app.
did. So basically, it links all of your accounts together and stuff.
And then tells you where the best
and it
tips
tells
are.
you how much you're going to make based off of the drive. And then it tells you basically what it does is it goes and says what their 15.
Don't hold that up, please.
I won't. 15, 20, or 20% tip or 25% tip will be and what they could possibly get. And then after they accept it, it does some scanning and then goes, this is what you're really getting.
Yeah. So, like I said, I just, I brought it up because I just feel like I think a lot of those apps have had their run. I know people still use them because we're inherently lazy. I mean, we're just lazy as people. We just are. We'll use whatever. But I remember when they were really cool and the service was really good. And people were excited about having them.
Larry was so excited we got Slurpees that day.
They were.
They were good when they were cheap. Now I feel like they've become absurdly outpriced to the point where it's not really worth getting it delivered.
It's not. So that's my take on it. If you guys agree with me, disagree with me, let me know. Send me a message. On that note, guys, it is Saturday. We're going to be out at the parade in Virginia Beach. Come out and join us. Have a good time. Don't forget, turn off your guys' TV, unplug, spend some time with your kids. Sunday's right around the corner. Make sure you play a board game with them. They'll love you for it. We're out of here, and I'll talk to you soon.